Welcome back to What is Real, Reflecting on the Word. If you've clicked this far, then you have read the news about the retirement of our long-term director of music, Joe Hacnik. If you're a viewer and not a reader, then this is news. Maybe not important news to you. As friends of St. Anthony, we ask your empathy and compassion anyway. I know a lot of goodbye songs, The Dance by Garth Brooks, I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan, Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton, Saying Goodbye, Going Away by the Muppets and the Muppets Take Manhattan. While it isn't a song of farewell, the invitation to be present with the Lord and the gratitude spoken in the lyrics of "Oh Taste and See" by Ralph Vaughan Williams, they speak to the words of the 34th Psalm, of course. The lyrics also speak to my experience in serving in ministry with Joe. Our music director is like the many music directors and musicians and singers of sacred music whom I have been blessed to know. They're often the most gifted and grounded and educated theologians in the faith community. Oh, taste and see how gracious the Lord is. Blessed is the man who trusteth in him. Joe understands the importance of how sacred music offered in communities of faith walks hand in hand with the liturgy and the sermon and fellowship, and to invite others to come and see what Jesus has to offer them at the great banquet table and in belonging in community. As a man of deep faith, Joe has offered his extensive gifts, and we rejoice in gratitude for the work for which the people cry out, "Well done, good and faithful servant." I don't have a single colleague who did not at one time or another shout out some variant of my God, why have you forsaken me?" during the days of, especially the early days of the pandemic. I don't have a single colleague who didn't wish that they could or did resign or retire sometime during the pandemic. It's been a great exodus of people from calls that are never open for very long, and when they are open, they are rapidly filled. This hasn't been the case in the pandemic. The harvest has been great, but the laborers are few. And I'm not talking just about my clergy colleagues, I'm talking about my music colleagues as well. The music teachers and leaders that I know, they have sacrificed. I would go so far as to say suffered much so that we could continue to praise God in song, and that their students and their singers and their care, that they would be able to continue to worship in the language of their hearts. I believe it was only Joe's character and his passion that he continued to serve in our community until we called me as a rector, as our new rector. For that, I will always be grateful. Crisis kills some, and it brings out the best in others. Having watched from afar, from a distance before I came here, and having lived the aftermath of the worst of the pandemic here at St. Anthony's community, I know that it brought out the best in Joe. Not only as a musician and as a leader, our musicians and music directors, they became pastors to so many of us who were hurting during the pandemic and before and after. Please join me in congratulating Joe on his retirement and wishing him well in all that is to come.